HoloNetAudio.com. Blade of the Brutal One, a Star Wars fan audio production, a sequel to The Brutal One, a Sith Legend. "3,430 years before the Battle of Yavin." Rage. That was all he had. Darth Narkon, Swordmaster and Archivist at the Sith Temple on Dromund Kaas, had been granted command of a massive fleet of Sith capital ships that were now gathering in orbit in preparation for a new attack on Coruscant, much like the surprise assault carried out by Darth Malgus 2 centuries before. But that was not enough for Lord Narkon. Apprenticed at one time to Lord Bruticus, or the Brutal One as he'd become known, Narkon was replaced by fallen Jedi and darkside practitioner Vittori Saggio. For reasons that were never fully revealed, Lord Bruticus saw something in her and received special permission from the Sith Council on Korriban to take Saggio as his new apprentice. Lord Narkon, denied any opportunity to become a Sith Master the traditional way, craved revenge. And revenge, when justified, was completely permissible within the Sith Empire. As the Sith fleet continued marshalling in orbit, Narkon sent word to his former master to meet him on Dromund Kaas, the purpose for which, he'd indicated, was for planning the invasion to come, to utilize the wisdom and insight of the Brutal One's many battlefield experiences over the years. Of course, the real reason for summoning his old master was to lure him into a trap. To Darth Narkon, his simple plan of revenge, fueled by nothing more than his own anger, would be all he needed to solidify his position of command. First by eliminating his mentor, and then by leading his troops to victory. Then he would become a true Lord of the Sith. At least, that was the plan. The Brutal One proceeded with Vittori Saggio to Dromund Kaas aboard his personal flagship, the Rage Enforcer. The trap, of course, was obvious. One did not need to be a Force user to realize the threat that awaited them. Saggio, in particular, understood herself to be a potential target. Narkon would waste no chance at destroying his replacement, if possible. Vittori Saggio had refused to take on a Darth title for herself upon her ascension to Sith apprenticeship. She'd insisted on earning it by showing her worth first. Lord Bruticus admired and respected that about her, and granted that request to her. Saggio saw the inevitable confrontation against Darth Narkon as her opportunity to prove herself, readying troops to accompany her master and her. But the Brutal One wouldn't allow it, insisting on facing his former pupil alone, assuring her that he was still more than a match for Lord Narkon. And he was right. He left Saggio in temporary command as he took a shuttle to the planet's surface. The battle-blackened armor and lightsaber-impaled helmet of Darth Narkon fell to the floor of the Sith Temple with a loud thud. A final lesson learned about why he always referred to Lord Bruticus as Master. The saber blade retracted, and the Brutal One clipped it back onto his belt. The hilt was of an ancient design, black and blood red, centuries old, straight and with a hooked blade guard at the emitter, as elegant as it was deadly. Lord Bruticus appreciated relics that were still useful, an analogy for his own self, perhaps. Returning to the Rage Enforcer, the Brutal One informed the Sith Council via the HoloNet about what had transpired, and then assumed command of the entire fleet bound for Coruscant. This time, Lord Bruticus mused, there would be no Treaty of Coruscant, unlike before. The victor of the battle to come would keep the spoils of war, instead of handing it back over. During the duel with Darth Narkon, Vittori Saggio, in temporary command of the Rage Enforcer, intercepted a coded transmission from Coruscant. Highly unusual and curious, considering that Coruscant was the object of their next conquest. She had the message forwarded to her quarters, then spoke no more of it. The fleet of Sith ships exited hyperspace and immediately deployed around Coruscant, completely blockading it. Nothing could enter or exit the planet's atmosphere. Orbital bombardment then commenced. There was no resistance from below. It seemed, just as with the invasion led by Malgus before, surprise was on the side of the attacker. Bombardment continued as dropships full of Sith troopers were readied. And then, the tide of battle shifted as suddenly as it had begun. A massive armada of capital ships exited hyperspace from all angles, dwarfing the Sith fleet in number. The Sith fleet attacking Coruscant was itself now surrounded and under attack. The Brutal One ordered all planetary bombardment to cease and for all batteries to engage the counterattackers at point-blank range. Surprise, it seemed, was not an element in favor of the Sith this day. The key to the entire sacking of Coruscant had been thwarted somehow from within. There was no other possible explanation. That would soon be dealt with. The battle was over, but not yet entirely lost. The surviving Sith ships blasted an opening between the enemy vessels just wide enough to pass through, as their crews fired all the ordnance they had, while at the same time preparing for an emergency jump back into hyperspace. While that maneuver and preparation were underway, Lord Bruticus unleashed a weapon from which the Jedi would never recover. The Rage Enforcer sent a clear transmission, uncoded and for all to hear, toward Coruscant. It was a replay of the intercepted transmission received earlier by Vittori Saggio, sent by the Grand Master of the Jedi Order.
My dear Vittori, we have received your warnings. Many ships from throughout the Republic are just a short jump away, keeping station, unseen and ready to strike when your fleet arrives here. We anticipate receiving heavy damage, but it'll be a small price to pay if the Sith threat to Coruscant is finally extinguished. I hope you are safe. I love you.
The image of the Grand Master was replaced by that of the Brutal One, who stated, "Thank you for affording me this opportunity to utilize that which serves me far more than it does for you now." The transmission then displayed Vittori Saggio, now incarcerated aboard the Rage Enforcer, in binders and in a ray-shielded holding cell. She was effectively immobilized and unable to use the Force. You see, Master Jedi, not only does this reveal the source of treason within our ranks that caused our unfortunate failure to capture Coruscant, it also does something that made our need for Coruscant null and void. The beginning of the end of the Jedi. Your precious order is doomed. It is only a matter of time, and the Sith have plenty of that. A maniacal grin spread across the face of Darth Bruticus as Vittori Saggio slowly choked, then exhaled her last. The Jedi Grand Master, now under arrest, was led away for trial, his fate kept permanently classified and sealed from prying eyes for millennia to come. The Brutal One was correct. The Jedi Order was now fractured at the very top, corruption within laid bare for the galaxy to behold. There would be investigations made and people in positions of importance replaced, but this fracture ran very deep and could not possibly mend itself. In the right hands, truth can be an invaluable ally. In the hands of the Sith, it is a weapon, a blade that penetrates the surface, exposing everything beneath. The preceding Star Wars fanfiction audio production was written, narrated, and audio produced by Joe Mignano. The part of the Jedi Grand Master was voiced by Stephen Garber. You can publish your Star Wars or Star Trek fanfiction on our forum. You can also submit a short family-friendly fanfic for audio production on this podcast. To find out how, join the fun at forum.holonetaudio.com.